Nerds?
Nerds.
Nerds! What is a nerd?
I'm not kissing a nerd.
You know karate?
No.
Good.
Are all nerds as good as you?
You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do the math. If it ain't for you, let it pass on through. How you doing? This is Terrion Wilson, aka your boy Brotha T, here with another one. So this channel is called T's Life Tree. And on this channel, we like to give you little pine cones of wisdom. Now, if you don't know what a pine cone of wisdom is, stick around, stay on the channel, you'll get it. Before I get into the episode today, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like and subscribe, because when you like and subscribe, we can continue to give you those pine cones of wisdom. Okay, so let's get into what we're talking about today. I'm going to title this Revenge of the Nerds. Okay. And I know a lot of you out there like, what in the heck is he talking about? Revenge of the Nerds. Okay. So, a lot of guys, when they're coming up, if they're considered a nerd or have nerdy type tendencies, okay, sometimes you get picked on, sometimes you ostracized, you get called boring, you get called corny, you get called all types of things. There's a few things I want you to do if you identify with that, okay? Even if you're a little older and you're still dealing with those things, because sometimes, I know it sounds funny to some of you, but sometimes those things can cause trauma. 20, 30 years later, you're still thinking about getting picked on in school. Okay. So let's talk about Revenge of the Nerds. How will they get their revenge? And I want the ladies to listen up as well, because I'm coming from a male perspective on this more. It happens to ladies as well, but in a different type of way. Today, we're going to focus in on the male. Okay. But I want you to listen, because this can benefit some of the ladies out there if you're really paying attention. Okay. And you'll learn a lot about relationships and a different way to choose men, okay? And you look at different qualities. Okay, so this whole needing to belong to a group type of thing, sometimes this kills us as human beings, right? This whole tribalism thing, like I belong with this group and you're from that group, so we don't belong, right? We can't build anything together. And it's all perception. Okay, it's all the way in which you see the world, right? So if I see the world from a different perspective, I'm going to look at you as an outsider, instead of just taking into consideration that you have a different outlook on life, a different perspective, and we can work together for a common goal if we have enough things that are aligned, if that makes sense. Okay, think of it like friend versus ally. So what's the difference between having a friend and an ally? Having a friend is somebody you have a personal relationship with, right? It's reciprocal. I give, I take, you give, you take. And the ally has nothing to do with personal relationship. You don't have to like that person to be an ally, right? You getting what you need out of the deal, and they are too. But when you're a friend, you're supposed to have a personal connection, okay? That's the difference between friend and ally. So sometimes when we're coming up and we're looked at a certain way because we read more, we're a little awkward around girls, things like that. You get looked at a certain way, especially by some of the girls, okay? Sometimes they'll put you in this corner because you're not as cool as this other guy. This other guy is cool, you know what I mean? And he has game, and he's smooth, he can talk, and you know, he appears to be doing a lot in life. We're going back to like high school days here, right? So this guy gives an impression like he's the stuff. He might be star of the football team, all this stuff. So he's looking real good right now, right? While this other guy, he's just looking like Mr. Geek. You know what I mean? He's reading all these science books. He's learning, and he likes chess. You know, so he comes across as, man, this guy's boring, right? He doesn't do anything exciting, right? So what happens? Sometimes let's fast forward to the college days. Sometimes this guy gets looked over, right? Even though he might be studying to be something big one day, he's still not at that point at that moment. And this is where a lot of ladies, unfortunately, make big mistakes picking the man. Okay, or not picking the man, depending on what way you want to look at it. Because they'll get to college, and then this guy does not have what they're seeking at that moment, which makes them not good enough, right? Even though they're going to get there one day, they're working towards that. You know, sometimes you turn on that blinder. Ladies, this is true, okay? And sometimes some of you will be so focused on your education that you're looking past the man as well. I'm not saying don't get your education, don't get your schooling together. If that's what you want to do, if that's your goal, achieve it. But what I'm saying is don't look past a good guy just to get that, because, you know, have that mixture, okay? Unfortunately, a lot of good guys get looked over at that point. Now, I'm going to say something and I'm going to trigger some things, okay? So you might not like what I'm about to say, but it is true, especially in our natural existence, okay? As men and women, a lot of things that give you a lot of, let's say, that makes you more desirable. Those things come when the younger you are, okay? As you grow older, you're still a great person. You're still a great woman. You might be still, you know, very attractive, but as you go older, you start to lose some of that pull, right? And if you guys are honest with me, you're going to agree with me, okay? The stuff that you got in your 20s, we're talking about from the opposite sex or whatever, you don't necessarily get those same things in your 50s. This is true. You can still be attractive in your 50s, right? You can still be a bomb. You can look like the bomb. You can look like a bomb. You can still look like a bomb. But you know, guys are not knocking down your door as much as when you were in your 20s. It's just the truth. That's just the natural selection of things. Sometimes it's the reverse with guys, right? Sometimes in your 20s, you get less people knocking on your door than when in your 50s. And I know some of you are saying, well, that's a double standard. Yes, it's a double standard. There's nothing we can do about it, but it's the truth. So a guy in his 50s, especially if he's done what he's needed to do in life and he gets to a certain status, at a certain point, he has a certain financial literacy, and you can tell he's really set up to really upgrade somebody's life, he's going to get more people knocking at 50 than he had at 20. Because at 20, he looked like a geek. He was still getting himself together. I needed to hammer that out in order to go to my next point, by the way. So in college, unfortunately, some of the ladies ignore those guys because they don't have what they're looking for at the time. They're looking for those 50-year-old guys that already have their structure, or they're looking for those guys that already have those structures. But the way things work a lot of times for the male gender, a lot of times we don't get those structures and those things together until we're 35, 40, 45, 50 years old, okay? So now you have a different dynamic here, okay? Because those guys are getting looked over in their 20s, and now when they get old enough and they have a structure set up and they have some of those tangibles that you're looking for, now they're looking for something else other than what you are at that point. And that causes a lot of the confusion, right? So now they're looking for younger women because they're looking for certain qualities. And this is true. You can get mad at me all you want, but it's true in a lot of cases. Maybe not every single case, but it's true in a lot of cases. If a guy gets to a certain age and they start to structure themselves and get themselves together, they're on their purpose, they're achieving, and they have their financial game together, they're looking good, they're the best version of themselves. Now they're looking for a certain mate, okay? Now when they start looking for that certain mate, now they're looking for certain qualities. They're looking for femininity. They're looking for them to look good. They're looking for cooperation. That's probably number one in most guys' book, in my book, for sure, right? They're looking for these things. If you don't fit those things, then now we have a problem. Okay. So how can these nerds get to the point they need to get to where they can get that revenge, right? It's just a title, y'all. I'm not saying get revenge on people. I'm just saying this is how you can win at the end of the day, even if you're a nice guy. And I'm not sitting here encouraging people to get revenge. I don't literally mean that. It's just a title in order to elicit a response. What I'm really saying is, what can guys do at the end of the day to better themselves and get themselves in a position where they're there? So a couple of things they can do. I specifically express the importance of staying on purpose. Stay on your purpose. If you know what you are here to do, here to accomplish, I want you to stay on that goal. Do not deviate, especially if you're a guy. Do not deviate for any women, okay? Because if you deviate, that woman's going to be happy in the short term. But if you deviate to the point where you get off of your path, get off of your goal, she's going to eventually resent you for it, right? Because that's the whole reason why she's with you, right? There's love involved, I'm sure. But one of the reasons why she's with you is so you guys can upgrade your lives together, right? And a lot of them are going to look at you as being the leader in that, the catalyst for that. How can you be the catalyst and the leader in that if you're going off your purpose to appease somebody? Stay on your goal, stay on your purpose. If she's not the one to be with you to be an asset in you building that, there will be one that comes along. Because if you're really on your goal and on your purpose, somebody is going to be attracted to that, right? Especially if you're getting some of the monetary prizes from that. Okay, stay steady. Don't lose the steam. Okay, if you're or in your teens, if you're 18, 19, 20, you're college age, and you're not getting the type of cooperation you want from the opposite sex, I'm talking to the fellas here, stay strong, okay? Just know that if you stay on that path, you stay on that purpose, don't hold that against them. They're supposed to choose the best possible mate for them, if that makes sense. Okay, so men and women choose their mates based on different things. Okay, so there, a lot of the female gender, they're hardwired to search for certain things: stability, the masculinity, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's going to take charge of situations, somebody that's a problem solver, somebody that's a provider, protector. Okay, they're hardwired to seek that. And at 20, you're not that yet. So, don't hold it against them. Just like they shouldn't hold it against you that you look for certain things, right? You're looking for femininity, and you're looking for somebody that's going to cooperate. You're looking for somebody that looks good, somebody that's into you, right? These are different things, but there are things that both sides want from each other. So don't hold that against them. Stay steady, stay on your goal, and eventually, you're going to have the leverage in that situation, because once you get what you need to get and you're running stuff and you're that boss, then things change. And some, not all, but some of those ladies, they're going to make bad choices in men. They are. Just look for it. It's going to happen. Because of the need for those certain things they're really looking for. Sometimes they find those, and a lot of guys that end up showing those qualities outwardly, especially right away, those guys end up being the bad boys that we call them, right? So sometimes they're attracted to those bad boys because of some of those qualities. And sometimes the nerdy, geeky guys, they aren't showing those qualities outwardly. Doesn't mean they don't possess those qualities. They're just not showing them outwardly. At a certain point, once you get your weight up, now you're showing it outwardly and inwardly. And now you become that dude. You know what I mean? At that point, she's trying to get to you now. After she's done with the bad boys, she's done all the fun, right, that she thought she was having. Now she's looking at you like, that's the one. And some of them, they'll even say like, man, okay, I chose the wrong one, because I was looking for certain things I thought I was looking for, and I was looking for something else. So just stay true to who you are is the point. All right, so another thing that guys can do, Revenge of the Nerds, geeks, you're getting looked over right now. I want you to take care of your body, right? Eat the right things, okay? I don't care how old you are. If you're 19, 20, eat the right things. Me personally, I don't eat pork, right? And I'm not a super skinny guy talking to you, but at the same time, I'm not like about to drop dead tomorrow of heart failure, okay? As far as I know. All right. So, you know, I try to eat well. I try to exercise more. I try to take care of my body. Everything, I'm conscious of the things that I take into my body. If I take in something bad, it's because I chose to. It's not because I'm on autopilot just eating bad, okay? And that is a difference in life. So take care of your body. Of course, if you get to a point where you're on your purpose, you're on your goals, you become the best version of yourself, you're going to have finances, right? But I want you to take care of your bank account, take care of your finances. I want you to be financially literate, okay? Not just for you and not just for the family you're setting up now, but the family you're setting up later in the future. All right, and the very last one I'm going to give you, don't settle for less than you have earned. Okay, so what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is if you put all the work into yourself, you're on your goal, you're on your purpose, you achieved a lot of the things that you set out to achieve in life. Your financial game is set up. Your body game is, you know, you're looking good that way. You're the best version you can possibly be. Do not downgrade. What I mean by that is do not choose somebody that's not going to be an asset to your empire, okay? And what I mean by downgrade, I'm not saying somebody's less than you necessarily. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you don't want to choose somebody that's not going to be an asset. You don't want to choose somebody that's going to be an actual drain, okay? Now, that does not mean that you have to find somebody on your level financially and stuff like that. That's not what that means, because it doesn't matter if you have your stuff together as a man. It doesn't matter what the woman makes necessarily, right? But what matters is she an asset to you or is she a liability? You don't want a liability with you when you're trying to become the best version of you. Okay, so what are things that makes her an asset? Okay, let's say you have your own business, you're an entrepreneur. If she helps you get those accounts, help you land those accounts, or if you get the accounts yourself and you can land the accounts, can she help you close? How can she help you close? She doesn't have to pitch. Like, you can go out to dinner and you're trying to impress the client and she's looking good, smelling good, she's articulate, and they're like, man, I love him and I love this couple. She's helping you close, believe it or not. And that really does happen in the business world. Okay, it's very important to have that network thing together. So you want somebody on your arm that's really an asset in that way. And I'm not just going by looks either, because when she opens her mouth, if she's able to articulate, if she knows about the company just like you do, and she can impress that guy. You know, guys love pretty ladies. That's just, you know, let's be honest here. So if she's a pretty lady and she's intelligent and she knows about the business, and it's clear that both you and your wife, you really are you guys are about that life and whatever business you're into, those guys will pick up on it, and sometimes you can close. She's an asset to you. If you guys have a family, you have kids, and she takes great care of the kids and makes sure that house is running on a daily basis, especially if you're away, she's an asset. Okay, that makes her an asset. Okay, so those are assets. Now, what are liabilities? The liabilities will come in and they'll feel entitled to everything you have without bringing anything to the table. If they just hanging around and just say, hey, and you turn to them and say, hey, okay, so what's your role here? What are you bringing to this situation? And they just say, well, I'm bringing me. I'm good enough. No, that's a liability. Trust me, that's a liability. It's a liability. Okay, so don't just go off of looks. Don't just go off of that. Another thing that can make them a liability is if they are unable to control their emotions. Okay. Now, women, a lot of times they are going to show their emotions a little more outwardly than the average guy is. That's just true. That's a way of life. But if they're always popping off at people, if they're always ready to get into fights and argue, that's a liability. Okay, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a mogul of any type, you do not need a wife that could possibly get you sued or get you not liked. Or let's go back to that scenario. You bring your wife to the dinner, you're trying to close with a client, and every time she opens her mouth, you're doing this, like, oh my God. And then the other guy is like, well, that guy seems cool and everything, but why would he marry her? Like, she doesn't match. They don't match. I'm not touching that. That can happen. Okay, that can happen. All right, so that's a liability. Okay, if I can't take you anywhere, you get what I'm saying? If I can't take you everywhere, and don't get it twisted, a woman can choose a liability too. Okay, it's not just one way with that. Let me break down an example of a liability the other way around, because sometimes it's not exactly the same. So if a woman's doing her thing, she's out here, she has her career going, boom, boom, boom. And the guy, he's just sitting at home playing PlayStation. He's not contributing in any kind of way. He's a liability. He's a liability. You get what I'm saying? He's costing you, okay? You feel like you're taking care of a whole other child, right? You might have children together, and you might have one child together, but in essence, she's taking care of two children. Okay, that's a liability, right? What can be an asset to that woman? An asset is if that guy gets his stuff together, takes charge, get on his purpose, and he's able to take care of that family and take them to the next level, upgrade the family, maybe even to a point where she doesn't have to really take care of, a lot of the bills in the house. That's being an asset, right? See how it's a little different? But both sides have liabilities and assets. So if you take some of those suggestions, you put them all together, there will be a day where you can sit back and say, Revenge of the Nerds. Boom. All right. I hope you liked the video. And if you did, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment. I'll try to get back to you with a reply. This is Terrion Wilson. I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for taking time for listening. I gotta go. So I'll see you on the next video. I'm out of here, family. Peace.